Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We've got Cassidy dropping facts. Cassidy on this last season of The Bachelor. What did she last? 3-4 episodes? Rumored to be on the next season of Bachelor in Paradise. Going in hard as her reaction to the Roe versus Wade apparent opinion by the Supreme Court that was leaked Monday night, that they're going to overturn Roe versus Wade, which, of course, we discussed in a video yesterday, which has a ton of comments, alumni reacting to Roe versus Wade bombshell. We have people that are in support, that are on the other side. What we do know statistically is the majority of people think that there should be a federal protection for those that need to get and need to make the difficult decision to have an abortion. So this conversation, trigger warning, is about just that, an abortion, and everything that may either lead up to that or be a result of other issues, whether it be domestic violence, rape, incest, or even, as some have pointed out, just the ability before a certain point in a pregnancy to terminate a pregnancy because you maybe have an issue or maybe not. It really just comes down to that, because we can make excuses and say, well, where do we draw the line? Well, how about letting doctors and their patients and women decide what to do with their body up until a certain point, of course. That's the argument, right? Up until a certain point. I think most people can agree on. Now there's a lot that people don't agree on, which, of course, hey, welcome to the U.S. Welcome to 2022. There's always going to be stuff we don't agree on. But I think what we should consider is that it is a tough and difficult decision to be made, and whether you want one or whether I want one or whether someone else wants one shouldn't dictate whether someone else has the access to that. And of course, if Roe versus Wade is overturned, it'll become a state issue, which means there will be tourism to states that offer that. There'll be no less abortions. There'll be a rise in those that die trying to get an abortion, and there'll be other issues. So Cassidy posted yesterday about it, and she posted again today, and this is what we need people to be doing with difficult subjects. We need people to be speaking their mind. And actually, I don't think enough people in Bachelor Nation are talking about this. It's a very dry time of the season. I understand some people don't use their platform for controversial issues, but it really shouldn't be controversial. I don't believe it should be. So let's get into it right now. Here's what she said yesterday, and then I'm going to share what she said today. And again, this is heavy stuff, but this is life, folks. Everything we discuss is heavy at this point. And by the way, I'm on Demi Burnett's podcast. I believe it launches tomorrow, and I'll promote that when it's on. And we talked about it, and it was a very difficult conversation to have because it conjures up so many different feelings. Because people that do go through with an abortion, sometimes, or more likely than not, as I've read, have had some form of PTSD because of it. Now, it doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to do that. It just means it's so heavily weighted on people as this huge moral issue. And it should be considered a issue that is talked about gently. But, having a Supreme Court that is a majority of men decide what to do, and it just doesn't sit right with a lot of people. There's protesting out there. And it's, I have a hard time believing if the Supreme Court is 9 women, I have a hard time believing that they overturn Roe versus Wade. Because as we know, women have either had an abortion, a miscarriage, or a friend that they've had to drive to an abortion clinic, or to Planned Parenthood, or to somewhere after having a miscarriage, or a problem with their pregnancy. I mean, the problem, it's if everybody has a story, right? And now, unfortunately, the way that we've dealt with issues like this in the past is very hush-hush. Well, don't announce your pregnancy until X amount of time because it might not. Oh, well, don't do this. And, for people that have had miscarriages in the past, the chance of a miscarriage could be up to 50%. And when we talk about abortions, we also have to talk about miscarriages because there's actually hospitals out there, and there's insurance claims and all these other reasons why people, sometimes, in some cases, abortions will not be given, even to a fetus that's already, a miscarriage that's already happened. So it's complicated, but these words matter, and doctors need to not, risk fear of being sued for doing a procedure to save somebody's life, or, so many different reasons why this matters. And for those that say, well, it should just be a state issue. Well, we're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens in the fall, and we'll see what happens with elected officials if it does go down to the state. Will every state rise to the occasion? We know Georgia flipped in this past Senate race We know other states have gone purple and have shifted their voting allegiance due to core issues. Will this change the way people feel? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So here's what Cassidy says yesterday, then we'll read what she said today. I haven't talked about this publicly in quite some time, or at least since long before I appeared on any show, but I have benefited personally from access to safe abortion services. I know many other women and many men who have benefited from access to safe abortion. This community of people is far bigger than you may think. Abortion is not a dirty word. It's not a taboo topic. If what is happening is especially triggering to you, I'm with you. You have done nothing wrong. You have every right to be angry or devastated. However, your processing this is okay. My DMs are open and I'm all ears if you want to share your story with an objective, supportive person who can identify with you. Nothing will ever leave our messages. All I can do to support is listen and be there. So that's what I'd like to do. And I'd like to do the same. And I haven't opened up my voicemail line literally this whole off season, but we'll do it. If anyone wants to share their stories, of course, that will be shared with all of you. You can share them anonymously. You can get anything you want off your chest. You can say whatever you need to say about this pending decision, this opinion by the Supreme Court to flip Roe versus Wade. If you want to, dial 401-213-9828, and we'll make a video about it. Because I think it's important to have these discussions. And the discussions and the burden doesn't necessarily fall on one gender versus the others. We're all part of the baby making process. So that's what Cassidy says yesterday. And today, she says, day 2 of being under immediate threat. Let's talk domestic homicide. You know what else we should address? Domestic murder rates being certain to rise when men, especially in low-income communities, would rather kill their partner than get stuck with 18 years of child support. Women will die. 20% of pregnant women who die during pregnancy are victims of murder. Most are by their current male partner. Most are killed in their first trimester. So how backwards thinking is that because we don't have access to safe abortions and other medical procedures, like Planned Parenthood, because some people don't have access to communities like Planned Parenthood. There's so many deceptive practices by anti-abortion folks that will stand outside of companies like Planned Parenthood, bomb Planned Parenthood, and will disguise their, they'll dress up in scrubs pretending to be a doctor because they received a doctorate from, DeVry University. This is true, guys. And they'll stand in front of Planned Parenthood and say, hey, let me walk you in. And then they've got trailers and makeshift little meeting spaces where they'll bring someone in and try to change their mind. Deceptive practices. Deceptive. All because why? And I understand, I empathize with people that believe that are pro-life and believe that is murder that's taking place. I emphasize and understand that if you do believe that, then you would act that certain way. But, until we're taking care of all the other issues with living humans right now, we can't make that point. Because how many people that are pro-life are also not voting in ways that are pro-life to humans that exist right now, or to immigrants that are trying to fight for health and safety and entering our country, and all the other ways that we're not providing for those in the middle or lower middle class or lower class. All the poverty we have in our country that considers itself the greatest and richest country in the world. All these issues we put on the side. Because it's easier to say, well, I'm pro-life. It's easier to say one versus the other than it is to do the work. And yeah, sure, some people that are pro-life absolutely are also doing the work to help others. But where are we as a country when we're not all on the same page with universal health care, with taking care of each other, with raising the minimum wage so people can have a healthy, you can't just work a normal 30 to 40 hour work week and expect to pay rent and all these other issues. So with all these issues that are out there, very foolish that some people are ride and die on one side of this issue. So the Washington Post says the Supreme Court might never recover from overturning Roe versus Wade. On Monday, Politico published a draft that we share with you that they're going to overturn it. And the court later confirmed that the document written in February is genuine, but emphasized it is not the court's final word. So this is the democracy. This is the power of the people to voice their opinion. Of course, peaceful protesting can and will be done. Keep your policies off my body, it says. very powerful stuff happening out there. And whichever side somebody falls on, I just encourage everybody to open up their minds and their hearts, do a lot of reading, and understanding that there's a lot of catching up I think our country needs to do with the rest of the modern world. So whether or not they overturn it, we know that it'll be done through relatively nefarious ways. So the court, of course, and I'm not, a civics professor here. I know I will be speaking at a college course in the end of May in Chicago. I've also got shows May 27th and 28th in Chicago. Also May 12th in Burbank, California. I know a lot of you guys are coming. But I am no professor. But we do know that Mitch McConnell has made it a career goal to pack the court with conservative justices that will overturn Roe versus Wade. And we do know that Obama tried to get a Supreme Court justice in, and for over a year it was, held up, and they kicked the can down the road until Trump was elected, and then they got in several Supreme Court justices that all said, hey, Roe versus Wade is the law. We're not going to flip it. And then they did just that. So, deceitful, political, absolutely. What else do we expect in this world that we live in? But truth shall set us free, you would hope. And if we keep on talking about issues like these, like Cassidy is doing, we hope that we can impact others and create some positive change. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all in a little bit. Bye, everybody.